Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are subscribed to my channel, I thank you so much for returning. If you're new here, I thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like. And yeah, I'm so excited to be back on my live stream. I'm very sorry I wasn't here last week or yesterday. Sometime life happens and then plans change. So yeah, you just have to go with the flow and hope for the best. I thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me today. If you're tuning in later, I thank you also. Thank you so much. So just to give a brief rundown on where we are today, let me just put this over here. I'd like to show you all the piece that we've been working on for the past streams. So up here is where we did the first set of stitches. Oh, I got it hooked on something. Just stretch that out. Yeah, don't mind that. So this is what we did before, and I decided to end with the star stitch right there. Excuse me. And why I decided to do that is because I wanted to keep the design that I started out with in my mind. I had the idea of this just flowing maxi skirt, knit maxi skirt. So with this length, if I put the star stitch as the waist section of the maxi, and I use the E-stitch pattern that I have at the bottom, to me, I hooked it onto my mannequin after I took it off of the loom, and the little bottom bits, those little ends down there, it kind of looked like a mermaid tail in the two parts. So I was like, oh yeah, very beautiful. So I used the casting off stitch to take it off of the loom, and that's the result I got with that. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. And then I started on Thursday with the next panel, because we need two. We need one for the front and one for the back. So I started out on that. I really wanted to go live, but was having difficulties with my internet. I'm very grateful to my provider for working as hard as he can and getting it back up as quick as he did. But unfortunately, Thursday was not a day for that. So I did this so far. I cast on one of my previous, the first live stream. The casting on method is there with the same stitch, the E-stitch, and with that to create this piece, because I need, well, I don't need, but I want exact, well, not exact, but as best as possible, the same that I have here that was done before. I would like to make with this one, so it looks the same when I join them together to become one piece. So that's the idea. So when I did this one, I used one entire roll of the yarn to do that. So I've already shrunk my board up. I don't think I'm saying it right. String my board up, wrap my board up. I'm sorry, I'm still pretty new to my loom, so I don't have all the loom lingo as yet, but yeah. So in this stitching that we will be doing today on the loom is only going to be E-stitch. That's all I'm going to do today. Just wrapping my E-stitch and taking the bottom and passing it over the top, and that is how you create the lovely pattern of the E-stitch. So I can't wait to get this other one done. This one took, I think it took about 8 hours. It could have been more, could have been less, not quite sure. So roughly it should be about the same time frame to make this one. After I make them, then I'm gonna join them together. So I'm still deciding how I want them to be joined together. I have a few ideas that I'm playing around with in my head, as I like to try to make pieces that I can use as much as possible, because I love to wear what I create. This is one of my designs that I am wearing today, one of my creations. So yeah, I like to enjoy my pieces, and when I do have the opportunity to create something that I can transform into multiple ways of using it, I like to jump on that. So my piece before, my last piece that I did before I started this one, I've managed to use it in, I think, 3 different styles. I think it was 3 different styles I managed to put it into, and all of them are so lovely. So I would like to do the same with this one. I'd like to be able to not only have it as a maxi skirt, but also be able to turn it into other things. So I'm still playing with ideas in my head, and my main thought going forward with the piece is I don't want to permanently bind them together to make the skirt. So I am working through my creating process of finding a suitable way of joining them together without keeping them that way. So yeah, stick around to find out how that happens. Then after that, I really want to move back to SAT. I'd like to do a bit of sewing, but then I also would like a top to go with this piece. So I don't know, I guess maybe later on I could always come back to my loom and then work on that. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me as I share my loom knitting with you all. So right here I'm just finishing up the stitches that I wrapped before, and this time I worked both sides. I don't see no wrong or right way on going about moving the bottom yarn over the top. To me, I do normally work from left to right, and then I would turn my board around. But notice just now I was just talking away and moving both sides. So sometimes, yeah, doesn't really matter. All that matters is that in this particular stitch, when you finish, you have one piece of yarn wrapped around each one of your pegs. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just wrapping the letter E on each peg, and I'm trying not to put too much pressure on the yarn while I'm wrapping, and that mainly is so my center part of the board does not buckle too tightly and then I am not able to get the piece out the bottom. So I try, but it still pulls itself in. I like it and I don't like it, I guess, all in one. I try not to pull it too tight, but it still does it, so I just accept it, and it gives me a lovely finish because it makes the center part more pulled, like more I guess smaller stitches, and then it makes the end parts kind of give me that fishtail that I saw on the piece there. So yeah, I like it. It's a good board. This is one of my first boards. So yeah, I'm pulling the yarn right now this way, but I have found, let me see, I have a roll back here. Let me see if it's this one. I did find that, okay, here we go. If you pull, this is the center, and then this is the one that is like that I'm taking from the outside. So if you find the center piece, and this over here, yeah, you want to find that piece that is hidden inside the center. If you find that, just pull that out and you can start weaving from there, and it's really easy because it just pulls out most of the time. I can't say all the time, because when I tried to pull this one I couldn't find it, and then I pulled it, and yeah, you'll see when we get there, it's not pretty inside. I couldn't get it. So yeah, I just started from the outside, and that is pretty fine too. There's no problem with that, really. You only have to you can't just pull it easily like how you would pull it if it came out from the center part of the yarn ball. Each time when you're rolling it from the outer, you have to take time to undo a bit of yarn so you're free to work. Or I also found that putting it in a ball, I didn't bring my ball, but you can also put it in a ball. I tried that one and it worked really good. So yeah, you could do that too. I do enjoy working on the loom. Very, very relaxing, and I'm so grateful to be able to share it with you all. Really grateful. Let me see if my tea is at sipping temperature. I apologize if I'm making a whole bunch of noise here with my spoon. Just trying to get that honey mixed. Need more honey. Excuse me. I just love honey. Honey is so good for you, inside and out. Oh yeah. Has honey now. Yeah, so I'm just having some, I think it's cumin. No, it's not cumin, sorry. It's yellow ginger, I know it has. That's what I'm drinking. Some tea. Nothing like some tea. and honey and knitting here on Des Create. Very beautiful day today. Every day is a beautiful day. I'd have bad moments, but still a wonderful day. Yeah, sometimes I have to remind myself. So I'm just moving my bottom yarn over my top, and I'm just gonna keep doing this. Oh, trying not to pull my yarn too hard. I want to stretch it out. I do like the needle. It's nice. Also, now I remember why I like to turn my board around to work. It's because sometimes my needle don't work too right over on that side. Or maybe it's me and not the needle. It's probably me. Yeah, it's definitely me and not the needle. When you're working the loom, and if you're doing this stitch, if you'd like to follow along with me, I thank you so much, and I sure love you to share your work with me. What you're doing, please share. You can follow me on my social media and share with me there. Definitely share it on my page. Love creating new things. Not always new things. Can't say I just love creating new things, because I have many passions, and one of them is taking something old and turning it into something new. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing that one day here on Des Create. So now I'm just going back to wrapping my pegs, and all I'm doing is just wrapping the E-stitch, just working my way down my board, back and forth, just mimicking a cursive letter E all the way down to the other side. When I get there, I'm just gonna anchor my yarn off onto the tip of my board. Oh, yeah. Just like that. Yeah. Might have to go fetch my ball. So now I'm just going to start again to do the same thing that I did before, just moving all the bottom stitch over the top. This time I'm going to try to just work this side first and then turn my board around and work the other side. And while I'm doing this, I like to keep my left hand nearby just to tug on the piece, and to me it helps me to just keep those strands of yarns in place, and because sometimes they would just bounce back onto your peg and you wouldn't notice. Happened to me many times. So yeah, I just like to give it a little pull just to help to try to prevent the bounce back. Sometimes it still happens if I'm not paying attention, I guess. So now I'm just going to turn my board around and start working the other side. I do prefer this method more, as I feel as if I move a little bit quicker along the board while working one side and then turning it around and then working the other side. I'm not saying you have to rush through your work. You can take your time, you know. It's just I get really excited creating new things, and then I just want to see the end product and wear it, because that's the best part, wearing it. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep going now, just moving my bottom yarn over my top and just work my way down my board, just tugging on it ever so gently. And you could notice it, like, see, it's right here. When I give it a little tug, it just pulls itself and stays a little farther down. You don't have to pull after every one. You could pull like when you notice you really need it. And you don't have to pull really, really hard or anything, just enough. Just keep going all the way down to the other side. Very relaxing to know. Loom knit. Loom knit. There we go. Back to wrapping. Just mimicking a cursive E around each peg and work my way down my loom until I get to the other side. Try not to put too much pressure, too much tension while holding the yarn. Try to be gentle with it, not too gentle, because if it's not wrapped around tight enough, not like choking tight, but you know, just enough, it will just jump off. And if your hand or your finger is not nearby, it will kind of do like a domino effect, just going as far as it wants to go. So now I start again, just moving my bottom yarn over my top, and no need to worry about that first peg that never gets wrapped. He gets wrapped when we go back around on the other row, and then the other side gets dropped, and it kind of gives an effect. Let me see if I can show you here on this one. So this is the corner, and it just gives you like a bigger loop effect. You don't really even see it, you hardly see it. It just is. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So I keep going, just drop a piece. Now keep an eye out to make sure that each time you grasp that yarn that you're holding on to all of it and crossing it over the peg. If you do leave one or two behind, it will give you like a hold effect, not throughout the entire piece, but mainly the pieces that were left behind. on that section when you cross that over. That's where you'll see that tightness of the strands. So I'm not too picky about accidents on my piece, mainly because it's a personal piece, it's mine. So I don't leave all my errors, but once in a while, like right here, this yarn got left behind, so he stayed, and it gives that fold. I don't know if you could see it, but yeah, it's one yarn fold. So just try not to let that bother me, because it's going to be all the way at the bottom of the piece anyhow. Weird stuff going on there. I'm gonna have to pull on that later to just try to let each strand find its place. Whatever direction you pull it in, it stretches, and you'll see the stitches tighten or open depending on how you're pulling it. So after I finish this row, I just go back again and start to wrap once more. Yeah, this is one of the easiest stitches that I've done so far on the loom. Nothing complicated. The only thing is repetition of it. So once you do a few rows, you get the hang of it. You just keep going from there. The star stitch is a little bit more, can't say complicated, because it's just E. It's the same E stitch and one U. It's just how you're stringing it up. That's the only difference of it. So you have to remember or you could write it down, the pattern that you're running with. Excuse me. Sip my tea. So I've moved all the bottom yarn over the top, and now I'm just going to get some yarn and start to wrap again. I'd just like to thank you once more for joining me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm back to wrapping my E-stitch once more. And I'm just going to keep working this stitch until I consume the entire ball of that yarn. And if I remember right, the last time I worked at that piece, it took probably 4 different live streams. I think it was like 4, maybe 5. Yeah, maybe it was less. All I know, it felt like forever. The finished product is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It just takes time and it takes patience, because you have to come back to finish it. It won't be done in one day. Can't be done in one sitting. No, I don't know. I've never seen I've seen speed up videos about loom knitting, but I've never seen like a professional loom knitter just like working down that board real quick. Might have. Can't say that they don't have none, because I do not know. Yeah, I'm still improving every day on the loom. Just improving my craft, sharing. Hi, dog. I'm almost at the end here. Just turn it around and start the other side. I got awfully quiet there. Yeah, just zoned out in my knitting. Deep in thought, working and reworking in my head. Get to the end here. I'm just going to start to wrap my E-stitch once again and again and again and again until the ball of yarn is gone, and then you'll tie a new ball of yarn. I'll probably just use my piece that I was using on this one, because I did not use the entire ball. If I did, I'd have to turn the piece into a dress because it was already long. So now back to my E-wrap. Just working that board, trying not to put too much pressure on it, and keeping my left hand nearby just to help in case I drop a stitch and it unwinds itself. Are you okay? Sorry, my fur baby was making some weird noises. So I'm just gonna anchor my yarn now and have a sip of tea. Yeah. And back to moving my bottom yarn over my top yarn. I'm just gonna keep doing this stitch. Keep working it. Work my way down that loom. Just giving it a slight little tug ever so slightly. Just helping the fibers to settle in and find their place. It's approaching the end here. There we go. I'm just going to turn my board around and start working the other side. I do enjoy working with this yarn. It's really nice and soft. And when I dangle it, it shakes real nice. So I can only imagine when it's finished and I can wear it. When I walk, it will walk as well. Yeah, it'll do that thing. I love clothes that flow. Can't say that all the clothes I have, because I would like be totally lying. As you can see, this one doesn't really flow. But I do love clothes that flow, and when you walk, it just floats around you. So that's what I'm hoping I get from this piece, being that it's so soft and lightweight. I'm hoping that when it's ready to wear and I walk with it, that it just floats as I walk. Yeah, listen to this talk about how she like clothes float. Be like, what is that girl talking about? Floating clothes. Yeah, floating clothes. Ah, forgot to keep my finger nearby. Yeah, you gotta be careful for that too. Sometimes you would put it on the peg and not all the strands would wrap around the peg, like some would try to jump over the other side. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that too. If you notice that your yarn is not woven tightly together, this one is pretty free flowing. I think that's why I like it. Not too thick, very thin, and it advertised that it was really breathable. Well, it didn't say it was really breathable, but it said it was breathable. Yeah, and air wicking and all that good stuff, because it's made out of bamboo and cotton. And then I went ahead and made these lovely ventilation on it. So yeah, I think it will be good for the hot weather, being I get more hot weather than cold, and I want to be able to get as much use out of my piece. So yeah, I'm really hoping this comes out the way I imagine, and if it doesn't, I'll still love the piece no matter what and use it when I can. Oh, grabbed too much yarn there just now. Get in there and hook it right. Oh, there. How much did I take? Okay, I missed one. I think let me just look at it real good. Yeah, I got them all. Okay. All is well. Keep going. Almost at the end. Just turn it around. We go down the other side. And the longer the piece gets, I won't say it's difficult to turn your board around, but it does kind of get in the way. So I've found tying a knot in the piece really helps the longer it gets. Right now it does not need a knot. It's still relatively small. I don't think it's even quarter of the size yet of what it will be. So it does not need a knot at this time. But as I work this piece and it keeps growing, you will notice I will just wrap a nice little, like a bun, knot in it. Nothing too intense or anything. I don't want to stretch my piece out in any particular direction or anything like that. It's just to help the process as I knit, to turn the board around. When it's all together, it's more easier to turn the board so you can work the other side. Now I get to my last one. I just like to give it a nice little tug on the piece. It helps to pull everything down. You can also run your needle, well, not the needle, you don't want to pull that yarn up like that. You could rub the back part of it. If you have a smooth back part, just rub it along the inside of the board, and it helps to just tamper them stitches down in place. And then you can get back to wrapping again. Wrap the E-stitch, very easy, just working on that board, one peg at a time. Oh, I love it here. I do enjoy being able to do my craft. Sometimes it's very difficult to put aside time to do your craft, your hobbies, as you, well, I guess I speak for myself when I would say I find excuses to do mindless things that would waste my time. So I'm very happy to be able to have this time to be here, and it helps me to be more consistent with my projects and move them along. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be able to do that and share it with my community here on Des Create. Thank you so much for subscribing. So excited I gained a new follower today, a new subscriber today. Amazing. So happy. Wonderful. This yarn is being really good to me today. Yeah. Maybe it's my upbeat attitude today that I have. Try to be positive and just try to take each day and each moment in to the best that I can. Oh, bless you, sweetie. Do you have any other symptoms? Just that? Are you feeling any better? Are you feeling any better? Okay. There we go. All right. Next row. Just gonna get me some yarn here. So I'm ready. I'm just wrapping out my E-stitches right now, just going down that board as gently as possible, keeping a close eye on it, just trying to make sure that I get all those strands on the peg. Now I'm just going to work my way down the board once more, just moving my bottom yarn and crossing it over the top of the peg, and just work my way down to the other side. Man, forgot I was supposed to do something today. Have to try to squeeze that in after my stream. Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes you hear a sound and then it triggers something in your head that reminds you, wait a minute, you forgot to do something. That's nice. So now I finished that side. I just turn my board once more. Oh, there we go, sorry, missed a lot of yarn there just now. It's like half of it got left behind. Don't want to do that. No, try my best to keep my piece to the best of my ability, even though it is my personal piece, my creation for me. I don't want it to be nice. Yeah. So I'm just moving my bottom yarn over my top to create my E-stitch knit pattern, and I fell in love with the E-stitch after I did this first piece, and one of my girlfriends came over and I was so excited. I want to show everyone, and she loved it just as much as I did, and she was like, you can make a dress all the way up to there, and I'm like, oh